Picture this. You're driving up a winding, snowy road in Aspen, the kind where every turn opens up to another breathtaking view of powder-covered peaks glowing under the moonlight. You pull into the driveway of an absolute dream estate. Massive timber frame cabin, warm lights spilling from huge windows, smoke curling from multiple stone chimneys. The whole place screaming old money luxury mixed with mountain ruggedness. Now imagine stepping out of a rusty old pickup truck that looks like it belongs on a construction site. Not here. That's me, Stephen Brooks, showing up to what was supposed to be my son's big celebration night. Inside, 25 of the most connected people in Colorado tech and venture capital are laughing, clinking glasses, talking millions like it's pocket change. My son Aiden is in the center of it all, looking sharp in his custom jacket, charming everyone with stories of his next big funding round. And when he sees me walk in with my cheap grocery store wine, his smile falters just for a second, because to him, I'm the embarrassing dad who somehow holds the deed to this place but doesn't belong in his new world. If you've ever had someone in your own family look at you like you're holding them back, like you're not good enough for the life they're building, then you know that quiet sting. It's not loud anger. It's deeper. It's disappointment wrapped in betrayal. Because what Aiden didn't realize, what none of them realized, was that this lucky old property was just one tiny piece of what I'd built over 35 years. I owned 40 commercial buildings across the Midwest and Rockies, a portfolio worth $120 million, all run quietly, no flash, no bragging. And the sleek downtown Denver office where Aiden had his startup, the one he showed off to impress investors? Yeah, that was mine too. But he never asked. He just assumed. He assumed I was some broke retiree clinging to an inheritance, driving that old truck because I couldn't afford better, buying discount clothes because I had to. He called me worthless behind my back, said I was an embarrassment, told his girlfriend and his investors that it was time for me to move on so he could elevate the family asset. And when he finally pushed it too far, when he made it public in front of all those people, I didn't shout. I didn't make a scene right away. I just smiled, nodded, and later, that night, made 3 phone calls that would sell both the Aspen estate and his office building to his biggest competitors. Cash deal, closed in hours. By morning, his dream life was gone. His funding collapsed. His reputation shattered. And he had to start from zero. If you've ever wanted that sweet, cold justice against someone who underestimated you completely, this story is pure satisfaction from start to finish. Smash that like button if you're already feeling it. Subscribe right now because these Reddit revenge stories are the best on YouTube. Turn on the bell so you never miss one. And let's dive deep into how this all went down. Let's go back a bit. Because this didn't happen overnight. It built slowly, like snow piling up before an avalanche. Aiden was always ambitious, even as a kid. I raised him alone after his mom passed when he was 10. I was already in real estate then, flipping small commercial properties, living simple so I could reinvest every dollar. He grew up comfortable. Private schools, nice vacations. But I never spoiled him with flashy stuff. I wanted him to learn value. But somewhere along the way, especially after college, he started seeing my simple life as failure. He moved to Denver, got into the tech scene, started this app for luxury networking, perfect for rich kids wanting exclusive experiences. He had almost 300,000 followers, always posting from hot spots, wearing the right brands, tagging the right people. And the Aspen place became his ultimate prop. At first it was occasional weekends. Then it turned into full investor retreats. He'd fly people in, host dinners, ski days, late-night hot tub strategy sessions. I'd stay out of sight mostly, chopping wood, maintaining things myself because I like the work. But I started overhearing things. One time, he's on the phone in the great room. Fire crackling, snow falling outside. Yeah, the family estate is perfect for closing this round. Dad's fine with transitioning it over soon. He's not really using it to its potential. Not using it to its potential. Another time, his girlfriend Sophia, old resort money family, says right in front of me while they're planning a party, "Stephen, once Aiden takes over management, we'll help you find something cozier. Maybe a little condo in town. This place is too big for one person." Too big for one person. I just smiled and said sure, whatever helps. But inside, that burn started growing. Then came the text that changed everything. It was the morning after one of his big weekends. My phone buzzes at 7 a.m. Dad, the investors love the place. We've decided it's time for you to move out of the Aspen estate by next month. We're changing locks, starting some upgrades. Sophia's dad knows a great realtor who can find you something affordable on your budget. Affordable on my budget. As if he knew what my budget was. I called him immediately. He answered sounding annoyed, like I was interrupting his important morning. Aiden, we need to talk about this text. Dad, there's nothing to talk about. I'm building something real here. I can't wait forever for you to retire properly. Retire properly? Son, this is my house. Technically, it's family property, and it's time for the next generation. Be realistic. Dad, the taxes alone on an $8 million estate must be killing you. How are you even paying them? I paused. Aiden, do you actually know how I pay for anything? Grandpa's inheritance, or whatever. Look, I'm grateful, but I have real plans now. Real plans. Like mine weren't real for 35 years. I hung up and sat on the deck, coffee getting cold, watching the sun hit the fresh powder. That was the moment I said enough. Not out loud, just inside. Enough. That afternoon, a courier shows up with fancy letterhead from Sophia's family law firm. 30 days to transfer title or face. Proceedings to resolve. The family inheritance dispute. Inheritance dispute. For a property I bought cash in 2008 after my biggest flip cycle. I read it twice, folded it neatly, and went to my office safe. Pulled out the files I'd kept organized for decades. Incorporation papers for Brooks Commercial Holdings. 40 buildings, 120 million valuation. Bank statements. Magazine profiles calling me the ghost investor of the Rockies. Everything right there. And that's when I made the 3 calls. First to my lawyer Laura, who's handled everything for 25 years. Laura, I need sale documents. Prepped for the Aspen estate in the Denver Tech Center building. Full price, cash only, close tomorrow if possible. She didn't even question why. Steven, you sure? Never been surer. Second call to my VP Marcus. Marcus, reach out to the Harlan Group. They're always sniffing around our prime assets. Tell them both properties are available. Cash deal, 12-hour close. They pay asking. No contingencies. The Harlan Group, biggest direct competitor to Sophia's family resorts and Aiden's lead investors. Third call to a family therapist we'd seen once years ago, just to document everything cleanly. By evening, the wheels were turning. Aiden had no clue what was coming. He was too busy planning his big celebration dinner at the estate, the one where he'd announced the transition to all his important guests. Little did he know, that dinner would be the last night anyone thought he was the next big thing. The evening had fallen. A deep blue hue had spread across the sky, and the snow was gleaming brightly. In the main dining hall of the Aspen estate, nearly 50 guests were gathered, the biggest names from Denver's tech and venture capital scene, a few from Silicon Valley, Sophia's family members, and Aiden's entire inner circle. On the long table, crystal glasses sparkled, silver cutlery gleamed, fresh flower centerpieces bloomed, and every plate held a dish prepared by a 5-star chef. The fire roared in the fireplace, and outside, snow was falling lightly. Everything was absolutely perfect. Aiden stood up, raised his glass, a smile plastered on his face. Tonight is not only a celebration of our company's biggest funding round so far, but also the beginning of something new. I want to announce that starting next month, this beautiful estate will become our company's official headquarters and exclusive retreat venue. I want to thank my father, Stephen Brooks, for making this place possible. And now we will all work together to take it to its true potential. Everyone clapped. Sophia looked at Aiden with pride. I, Stephen, was sitting quietly at the end of the table, in an old sweater and jeans, like any ordinary guest. Aiden nodded toward me, as if saying, "It's okay, Dad, now you can relax." Then my phone vibrated. I looked at the screen, a message from Laura. Both deals closed. Cash transfers complete. New owner, Harlan Group. Documents emailed. Congratulations. I slowly raised my glass and stood up. Silence instantly fell over the hall. Aiden, I said calmly, you were absolutely right. This place will now reach the true potential for your company, but perhaps not in the way you were thinking. Aiden laughed. Dad, what's this about? I placed my phone on the table, screen facing up. The email was open. Copies of the sale agreements for both properties. In the name of the Harlan Group. Closing time, 6:45 p.m. tonight. This place, and your beautiful modern office building in downtown Denver both now belong to the Harlan Group. Cash deal. No appeals. No reversals. After tonight, you will have neither this estate nor that office. Dead silence. Then Sophia screamed, "What kind of joke is this?" I shook my head. No joke. The transition you all planned just happened a little earlier. The Harlan Group is sending their team here tomorrow morning. They're turning this place into the flagship for their new luxury resort chain. And the Denver building? They're moving their new headquarters there. Aiden's face went pale. You can't do this. This is family property. No, son. It was my property. Every brick, every wooden plank, every check I wrote over 35 years, it was all mine. You never asked. You just assumed. I slowly pulled another paper from my pocket, the old purchase agreement from 2008, paid in full cash. I placed it on the table, and now it's all over. One guest asked, "But who are you really?" I smiled and replied, "Just an old man who worked quietly. Brooks Commercial Holdings. 40 buildings. 120 million in value. All of you sitting here, whose companies rent space in my buildings, you're meeting your landlord." A graveyard-like silence fell over the hall. Fear filled Sophia's eyes. Aiden's hands were shaking. I raised my glass one last time. Celebrate whatever you came to celebrate. This is the last night this place feels yours in your eyes. Tomorrow morning, the new owners will arrive. I turned and walked toward the door. Outside, my rusty old pickup truck was waiting, engine still warm. I got in, closed the door, and slowly pulled out of the driveway. I glanced back. Warm light was still spilling from the large windows. But now that light belonged to someone else. I turned on the radio. Old country music played. Snow was falling lightly. And for the first time in 35 years, it felt like I was truly going home. The end. This story doesn't really end. It's a reminder never to judge someone by their clothes, their car, or their silence. Sometimes the greatest power is the one you can't see. If you like this story, write enough in the comments. I'll know you read it to the very end.